Hey everyone, Jesse from the Laughing Lich Corporation, and I'm here just to talk about something that I've been trying to do with my group lately is to interview people that have never played Dungeons and Dragons before. I think that this is a pretty interesting topic because there's a lot of perceptions about D&D out there, and I just wanted to bring this up to the community. If any of you have never played D&D before, I would love to hear from you. I would love to reach out and interview you, and this project is meant to just show people what it's like to play D&D and what your experiences are before and after. Now, I have already recorded about 8 different interviews and done a few one-on-one shots. Now I'm trying to get small groups together to actually do a group one shot, and then I'll do an exit interview. If this is something you're interested in, please let me know. But right now, I just wanted to go over some of the questions that I'll be asking some individuals and answer them myself. I thought that it could be a interesting opportunity for you guys to learn about who I am as a DM for our channel, and ask me any questions if you have any. So, first off, about myself. Where am I from? I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, the very cold tundras up north. I am nearly a Canadian. I am not that far from the Canadian border, and I grew up from Niagara Falls most of my life. I am an avid Buffalo Bills fan. I've lived right next to the stadium. We're about 5 minutes from the stadium almost all my life. And it was a great childhood that I had, but I never played D&D. I was not exposed to D&D until I was around 25, about 5 years ago. And, before moving to Louisville, I went to college and then went to Huntsville, Alabama for a job. Then the company moved to Louisville, and I've been in Louisville, Kentucky ever since. And what I do for a living is I am a PhD student at the University of Louisville. I'm studying molecular biology, specifically heterologous protein expression systems of plants. In other words, taking a gene from one organism and putting it into another. That's the easiest way I can describe it. Some of my hobbies include, as of now, D&D, of course. I am an avid D&D learner. I love reading all the new WotC books, as well as a lot of third-party books. I think there are some excellent content given out there by people that we can utilize as DMs. It is a really good, fruitful environment right now for third-party resources. Some other things that I do include woodworking. If you look over my shoulder, that is actually a table that I built from scratch. I love to woodwork. I've built many tables and other small items. I really want to try dice towers next. It's a little bit smaller than the things that I normally make, but I've done tons of things like charcuterie boards, cutting boards, and of that like. But I want to start getting to more fine woodworking. So I have a son. He is 17 months old, and he is quite a handful, but I love playing with him. That is definitely a big hobby of mine. I will soon have a newborn coming in the next month or so I'll be very busy in the next few months. And I love to swim. I used to be an avid swimmer back in high school and college. I was on the swim teams. I was captain and all that. Went to nationals way back in the day. And then I grew old and got fat. It is what it is. I still enjoy swimming. I swim every now and again, and when I do, it feels amazing. But just finding the time to go somewhere and get in the pool and convince myself that I need to swim is really difficult these days, especially when you have a child running around. But I try to do what I can. I love video games. I used to play video games so much in my childhood. I used to play Skyrim, The Witcher, all sorts of like Zelda games and Final Fantasy. I am really big into single-player RPGs. Never really got too much into the multiplayer kind of games. I guess I did play World of Warcraft for a time and MapleStory as well, but other than that, I've mostly been single-player. I really enjoy the storylines that they can provide and the kind of emotion that I really look for in video games. And I really like board games. Of course, I'm a nerd. I love board games. They are awesome. Betrayal at the House of the Hill is my current favorite. Dominion is also one that is up there at the moment. But just playing with friends whenever they want to or can tolerate my very nerd-like ability to just understand rules as fast as I can and try to beat them at everything. I'm very competitive. But otherwise, I like hanging out. So when did I first hear about Dungeons and Dragons? I feel like the first time I was exposed to it was really young. I remember reading a book that when you read it, it would say you enter a room about a dragon. What would you like to do? And it was something like I want to run away. Go to page 72. Or I want to fight the dragon. Go to page 55. Or I want to try to cast a spell on the dragon. Go to page 67. I don't know. So that was my first experience, and I thought, this is a really weird book. That was back in, like, second grade. But then I kind of grew older. I remember hearing things about the Satanic Panic, although I never grew up in the area near the Bible Belt until now. So I never really knew what it meant. People were freaking out over a game. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. And then I think Stranger Things was my first big exposure to it. I saw these kids playing it, and I thought it was cool. And then all of a sudden I was talking about Stranger Things with a coworker, and they were like, oh yeah, I play D&D. And they started telling me about it, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting. That's really nerdy. That's something only nerds play, right? I'm not that nerdy. Well, I did, in fact, get the Player's Handbook, and I loved it. I thought that this was the coolest thing ever. My imagination started going like crazy. I was like, oh, I can do all these sorts of things. So now I have to get the DMG, and now I have to get the Monster Manual. And I kept looking for people to play. I think that I was a player first for only a few sessions. I want to say maybe no more than 4 sessions with my coworker. But then things just kind of fizzled out. That group disbanded, as most D&D groups do, unfortunately. And so then I thought, okay, well, if I can't be a player, I might as well DM. There's tons of players out there. And so I looked on Roll20 and Reddit, and I found a good group of people, and I've been playing ever since for the last 3.5 years. Yeah, we all met online. Never met them in person. Maybe Sam I met in person once, but that's about it. I thought that I hit the jackpot. These are awesome players. They want to be here. We meet every Monday at a certain time, and they are always there. And this is so much fun. We started a group chat. We started talking about other things. I get married in the meantime. They are very supportive of me. They are just awesome, good friends. And honestly, I cannot wait until we all get to a point in our lives when we can just schedule a vacation together and go to like a cabin in the woods and just for a week straight relax, play some board games, play some D&D, and just have a great time, because these are the kind of people that I would love to be with, be friends with for the rest of my life. I really lucked out. I cannot emphasize that enough. So as I started to expand and play more D&D, I discovered that I really liked playing as the DM. I enjoyed making stories. I enjoyed what the players would throw at me and how I could figure it out. It was really interesting to me just how complex this game can be. And over time, I started getting more and more of the Wizards of the Coast content and books. And I thought, oh, okay, well, these are different concepts and different ways of playing and different content in order to look at. And then I found third-party groups, and I thought, oh my gosh, these are awesome ideas. And I really saw the difference between some of the older stuff. People that have been playing this game for a long time, they used to play a lot differently, and I can tell that whenever I look at their content. And it's not bad; it's just different. And I thought, oh, that's a cool concept. I could maybe include it in my game. And then I look at the new content, like I would say like Matthew Mercer at Critical Role. They really emphasize the role play, and I really enjoy that. And I thought, okay, I could probably do something a little bit along this. And just kind of gathering all this information really started to piece together who I am as a DM. And I just kept on doing it. I eventually I wanted to do more. I wanted to get a new group. And so I keep my old group, of course, but I wanted to play twice a week. And I thought, maybe I can do this. Or maybe at least I do it every week with my main group. Maybe I can do it every month or every other week with a secondary group. And so I put out another ad, got another group of people, and it fell apart very quickly. Something about me and the players just didn't mesh well, and I realized that I really struck gold with my first group. The second group, there was nothing wrong with them. They just had different ideas and different styles of play that just didn't align with what I wanted, and that's totally fine. We just went our separate ways, and that was it. I really learned a lot from that experience. I'm not this hot shit DM that knows everything. I have the style that is either liked or not liked. Players have styles that are liked and not liked, and it was really an eye-opening moment for me when I experienced that group. So I continued on with my main group, and we were enjoying everything, and I started to dabble into homebrewing. Now, I've been running modules for the past, 2 to 2.5 years with my main group until I started to do some homebrewing stuff, and I really liked it. But holy crap, does it get out of hand really fast if you just don't understand the game or understand your players well enough. Homebrew can be a lot of fun, but I was not ready for it, and I definitely messed up a lot. And I had to communicate that with my players, and I said, I gave you like a really, really powerful weapon. I think I have to take it back or at least diminish the power. And you know what? They were cool with it. They were fine. They were like, yeah, Jesse, we're learning too. Totally fine. So just having a good group to communicate with, that was the main key, is communication. We've been talking for so long that we're very comfortable with calling each other out on something that doesn't feel right or doesn't look right. Any topics that we've done in D&D, we've blacklisted a few topics because we thought that we are not artists. We cannot navigate a specific topic in a artistic and tasteful way, and so we're just not going to touch it because it just is dangerous waters, and we didn't want to offend anyone in our group. Well, as we started to get a little bit more mature of a group, we decided to start streaming, and with our streaming, we discovered that no one really wants to watch it. Not a problem. Doesn't matter. We do it for fun because it's always great to have a moment in combat or in a role-play moment and just cut the clip and then send it to the group chat and be like, haha, look at what this person did. And it's a great time. And so we just kept on doing that for another 1.5 to 2 years. And then afterwards we were like, you know what? I think we want to go a little bit more professional. Like maybe we can get a little bit better camera and maybe a better voice audio system and things of that nature. So this is what this YouTube channel is all about, trying to get that more professionalism. Again, we don't expect to ever make money from this or do anything from it. We mainly do it because it's fun, and I believe we have really good storytelling that we can provide for any community. That's the main reason why we wanted to start it. And we all have been collaborating with a lot of good story elements together that, maybe one day we'll make a book. Even if it's just a PDF, it might not be the best PDF, but we can share it amongst ourselves. And it will be an awesome book or campaign module or resource for other DMs if they want. But that's far in the future. Right now, we're just interested in making content and helping new players. That's why I wanted to do these interviews. So I guess I kind of went on a rant. But what did I first think of D&D? It's for nerds. I'm not that nerdy, right? And then at this point, what would I want to be if I had to choose a class? It's really tough. I really like spellcasters, full spellcasters, such as wizards, sorcerers, warlocks, and druids, clerics. I really love clerics. They are by far one of my favorite. However, some of the third-party stuff that we use, like Level Up Adventure Guide, has something called maneuvers for martial classes. And with those kinds of things, that really adds another level of complexity. I really like complexity in my characters. I feel like I can handle it. But when you add maneuvers for martial classes, I think that it could be really, really cool. So now I kind of want to play a fighter. I haven't played a character in a very long time, but I'm fine with that. I really enjoy it. I enjoy being a DM. So I guess this is my way of saying hello, welcome to the Laughing Lich Corporation, and if you are a new person to Dungeons & Dragons, I'd really love to hear from you. I would love to do an interview with you, and after that, we can do a one-on-one session where I can kind of show you the ropes, and then after that, maybe do a one-shot with another 4 people or 3 people, and then an exit interview. What did you think about D&D? How did you like it? Would you ever play it again? Would you recommend it to a friend? Things like that. So I guess this is the end of the video. I don't really know how to end this content. This is my first time. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.